We are back on Kababayan Today, and my name is Tongi. We have with us on our show si Mila De Guzman. She wrote this book, Women Against Marcos. It's a collection of personal stories that are really powerful testimonies of what happened during the Marcos times. And we'll start off with a reading of an account from Mila Aguilar. Mila?
3 months later, my son again ended up in the hospital with bronchopneumonia. Most of the people in our underground house were heavy smokers. Windows were always closed for security, making the children vulnerable to respiratory problems. Back in those days, there was no awareness about the harmful effects of secondhand smoke. I couldn't stay in the hospital for security reasons, so I asked my mother to take care of him while he was confined. When my son was released, my mother decided to bring him back to our house in Quezon City.
I cried. I cried almost every day upon learning what my mother had done. My baby had been with me for only 3 months, and I was probably suffering from postpartum blues. My husband tried to comfort me. He said that the only way he could ensure a better future for our son was to build a more equitable society. Keeping him in the underground, he added, might have negative effects on his health and life. It took several months before his arguments made sense to me and I could stop crying.
I got my son back when he was already 1.5 years. My husband and I placed him in another underground house where he soon contracted another lung infection. We were then staying in a small subdivision in the outskirts of Manila. The road in front of the house was unpaved and filled with stone shards. We had to move again when we heard about impending raids by the military. I brought my baby to the house of a cousin who lived nearby. Without my knowledge, my relative informed my mother that we were staying at her house.
Upon seeing her grandson's fragile condition, my mother told me she was going to take him. We had a heated discussion and ended up in the middle of the street, fortunately a cul-de-sac, shouting at each other, "He's mine! No, he's mine!" My poor son was crying as he was caught in the middle of our tug of war. I finally let my mother have her way because our argument might create a scandal in the community and end up in my arrest. My mother, at age 70, once more became the caretaker of my baby. I had been reunited with him for only a few months, so I was heartbroken when my mother took him away a second time. After that, I would see my son only once every year or two. And that is a reading from the book, Women Against Marcos. Kilala mo si Mila Aguirre?
Yes, Aguilar.
Aguilar.
Aguilar, yes.
So you know her personally?
I know her personally, and I know of her work and was very impressed by the kind of courage she had in joining the movement, having her baby in the underground, and suffering through the separation for many years from her son in order to continue her work against dictatorship.
I can see, Mila, that you're still very affected by her story.
Yes, and she tells me that her relationship with her son is still a process that's continuing until now because of the kind of break that they had when she had to leave him with her mother for many years, for over 10 years.
And that's what's great about this book is you really see the hardships that the women endured. You know, there are not much accounts of what happened to the Filipinos during the Marcos era. What more, the woman's voice. So we want to thank you for compiling all these stories, Mila.
Yeah, and thank you for helping publicize this book because it's very important that our kababayans know about this history.
Okay, where can people get a copy of your book, Women Against Marcos?
Okay, one is it's available on Amazon. It's also can be ordered from Philippine Expressions Bookshop and Karayan Press, but it also must be, we're having the reading tomorrow, and I'm hoping that it will be in the library system here in LA.
Okay, we're hoping that you can get a copy of this book in the library. All you have to do is make sure you tell them that it's written by Mila De Guzman, but it's on Amazon, so you can order it also online. Pagbalik natin, magbabasa pa tayo ng isa pang storya mula kay Aida Santos. We'll be right back.